Good morning, chosen ones. I want to tell you guys about a dream I had last night. Uh, Man, I dreamt I was watching. There was this man that was inside of this tank, this aquarium type tank in the zoo. Must have been in the zoo, and this man was in this tank with this alligator, and he was like playing with the alligator and swimming with the alligator and everything. And I was looking and I was like, wow, how could he be playing with that alligator like that? And that alligator didn't bite him or nothing, and I was scared. In a dream, I felt, I was scared for him, you know, um, but then I looked around and before I knew it, I was like in the tank with him, with him and the alligator. And so he's swimming around, he's swimming around, the alligator swimming around, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope that alligator don't come over here. Lord, please don't let that alligator come over here. you know. And eventually the alligator turned to me and he started coming towards me. And I was like, oh my God, he's gonna eat me. This alligator's gonna eat me. And he came up to me and he grabbed my arm with his mouth, but it didn't hurt. You know, it was like when a baby tries to bite you, because the alligator didn't have no teeth, right? Which I didn't know, but I knew then once he bit me that he didn't have no teeth. And it kind of reminds me of you know the way the devil works. Um, when he's trying to intimidate you and trying to make you afraid of him and make you so scared about what he can do, which is what these gang stalkers are trying to do also. They want to terrify you. They want you to conform to what they want you to conform to. They want you to do like them, to be like them, you know, and they use, intimidating tactics, and they make you think that, oh my goodness, this alligator is going to eat me up. How can I get out of this? How can I, and a lot of people who don't really know, that there is a solution end up getting eaten up by the alligator that really don't have no teeth, you know. Um, and so, the devil wants you to think that, you know, he's gonna tear you up and, he's gonna eat you alive, you know, um, which he can. If you don't have the most high God on your side, he will eat you alive, you know. But the thing about that, when you got a real relationship with God, and God is on your side and God is protecting you, it's like that alligator without no teeth. Ain't nothing the devil can do to you, you know. Ain't nothing he can do, you know. Um, he may make you feel a certain type of way, and I will admit there's, some damage that can be done to all of us. It's not like we invincible, you know. But when we got God's protection, that alligator's not gonna tear you apart like you think it is. You know, it's not gonna just destroy you like you think it's gonna do. You know, as long as you got the Most High God on your side, you know, you're gonna be all right. You know, uh, and He just wants us to have faith in Him. You know, and have faith, believe in ourselves. Once you have faith in Him and you know His power is in you, then you can believe in yourself. I'm talking about me. Once I got faith in Him and I know He's on my side and looking out for me, then I can believe in me. you know, because I know it's more than me. It's bigger than me, you know, it's bigger than me. And I know that his will, whatever he's trying to do through me, he's doing for his name's sake, for his glory, you know, and we just along for the ride, we just accepting the benefits, we just along for the ride. It's his battle, you know. Um, so, I just wanted to come on and tell y'all about that, because, sometimes we do get, I can remember a time I was so scared and discouraged from my stalkers, that I basically knew that this system and this particular person that was at the head of it, this was the person I spoke about in another video about this, this witch that I lived with. Not know, of course, I didn't know she was a witch at the time, but I lived with her for about 4 years, and I was miserable. I mean, she had made it where, she got me fired from my job and, she made it where I had to depend on her. And, basically she was running the show, you know, and I was young. I was in my 30s, and I kind of, you know, just accepted, the situation for what it was, and this woman just kept me miserable, for years. And I was like, it was almost like I was, you know, just trapped. And so when I finally decided to leave her, I left her and I left the city we was in with $60 in my pocket. And I didn't know where I was. Well, I knew where I was going, you know. But when I left, and I went to a whole nother state and a whole nother city, this woman stalked me. She followed me to where I was, to another city. And, I spent time moving from city to city to city, running from this woman. And like I said, she was a witch. And so it was like whenever she would show up, she could be 2 blocks away, 2, 3 blocks away. And I could feel her presence. Soon as she got there, I could feel it. I could feel it. I was like, oh my God, she's here. Oh my goodness, she's here. What am I going to do? And basically at the time, this was the very first time this happened to me. And it was like running from a monster, bro, running from an alligator. you know? And this person had all the advantages. Like I said, when I left, I had $60 in my pocket. I didn't have no job. I didn't have no type of income. And, I just knew I had to get away from her. And she stalked me for 6 years, for 6 years, and that's really how I really found out what witchcraft really was and how devastating it can be to somebody, the way it makes you feel, you know. And like I said, she was a very strong, very evil person, very evil person. And I could feel if she was 3 or 4 blocks away, when she came in the area, I could tell she was there, and it was horrible. It really was, you know. And for 6 years, she stalked me, going from city to city, you know. And I eventually figured out that she had to have help, because I would go from one city to another city and I wouldn't tell nobody where I was going, you know. Might jump on a Greyhound while I was traveling by Greyhound. And, well, the people at the station might know where I was going. And there was so many people involved. It was crazy, you know. And at the time, my mother was alive. And I would call my mom when I went to a new city. I would call my mom and I would tell her where I was at. And I eventually figured out. that they had to have my mother's phone tapped. They had to, because soon as I called her and let her know where I was at, that person, like maybe that day or the next day, that person showed up in that town. So she had a lot of help, so that let me know that this was a system. This was bigger than her. This was a system, the beast system, that was telling her and showing her where I was at, so she could carry out, I guess, their plan or their will, which was to kill me, to have me kill myself. And believe me, chosen ones, at that particular time, uh, I, excuse me, was pretty close to actually doing that. You know, um, I was at a place where, it was like, oh my God, why, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why is she doing this? Why is, you know, and I had so many questions and no answers. The only thing I had was, I would make sure that I always, however, what I had to, whatever I needed to do to travel to another place, I would always make sure, I got enough money and I got, you know, that I could travel, that, when she shows up, I can move, I can keep it moving, you know. And, you know, um, I I hate to think that, somebody's going through that now, you know, um, but it's very possible, if you've been through this kind of thing or going through this kind of thing. Because when I look back at it, and I see it for what it was, it's like, you know, if they did that to me and if they're still doing to the extent that they're doing, I figured out, well, actually, years and years later, I started doing searches on YouTube and I found out that there was such a thing as a targeted individual, you know, and I would watch these YouTube videos, and I was, like I said, this was years and years later after this woman was dead and gone, because she got murdered in 2003, uh, trying to kill me. Um, but years later, maybe 10 years later, you know, or less than that, maybe 8 years later, I was still going through, some stalking, some harassment, uh, uh, what's the word for it? I can't think of the word. But I was going through some harassment, you know, and the witchcraft, the sending the spirits, the negative energy at me. I was still going through that, and so I decided to, I did some searches on YouTube, and I found out there was such a thing as a targeted individual, and I found out I wasn't the only one, and I have to tell you, chosen one, it was such. Uh, I hate to say a relief, but I guess it was a relief just to know that I wasn't the only one, you know, just to know that this was bigger than me and I wasn't the only one, because they could have you thinking that you're the only one that's going through this, and everybody hates you. And, when in actuality, a lot of them do hate you, but at the same time, there are some people somewhere who really want to see you win, you know, and Almighty God definitely wants to see you win, so, you know, don't give up, chosen ones. Don't give up, you know, keep, keep keep it moving, stay prayed up, and trust God, because that alligator don't have no teeth, okay? That alligator's got no teeth. So, if this resonates with you, you know, like the video, give me a thumbs up. comment, you know, if you agree with me, comment. If you disagree with me, comment. Um, and subscribe to my channel, if you will. Hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload a video. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a great day. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Peace and blessings.